Welcome to the SNI Podcast. With deep roots in the Canadian regulatory landscape, SNI has helped hundreds of companies get on the shelf quickly and compliantly so that they can sell more and grow their brands. On this show, you'll hear stories from SNI's clients, plus the team's insights on how to overcome their biggest compliance issues and create a standout brand in the food and natural wellness space. The SNI Podcast is your source for market compliance. Now, on to the episode.
Welcome to the SNI Podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about overlabel solutions, a cost-effective market compliance strategy for packaging. We'll talk about cost savings, efficiencies, and other benefits to an overlabel approach for your products. I'm in studio today with two of SNI's long-standing employees. Marcel Fisette, our Director of Creative Services, has been with SNI since its inception in 2004. And our Associate Director of Creative Services, Christel Loll, had joined SNI in 2007. As leaders of our Creative Services division, they bring years of experience and expertise to our topic today. Thank you both for joining.
Thank you, Leanne.
Yeah, thanks.
So, for those listening, what is the overlabel solution?
The overlabeling solution that we offer is, very generally speaking, a sticker that covers some existing packaging that needs to be changed for compliance. And the coverage depends on what we're trying to cover and what kind of content we're trying to put over top of existing content.
Right, so it really depends on, from a compliance angle, right? We start with looking at what needs to be covered, how we can make that work.
Exactly.
And of course, we've got great samples here. So yes. Why would a company use this solution?
Several reasons for to use our overlabel program or as a solution. One is cost. Having dedicated packaging for the market you're entering is often a cost prohibitive endeavor, especially early on. You might want to test the market with your product to just see how successful it can be. The overlabel solution offers a way for us to meet regulatory requirements in the market while not having often high volume minimum compliance runs. One is also to utilize existing packaging that maybe have old branding or message updates. And another one is to just be able to quickly execute and get into the market without having to do like dyes or tooling investments for packaging.
Right. I imagine there's a bit of a corrective action approach to cover maybe some information that was misprinted or something like that.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, exactly. So on occasion, sometimes packaging will have errors on them or missing information or a barcode update or a fill volume change throughout the lifetime of the packaging. So this allows us to repurpose that packaging by just putting the correct information over top of the incorrect information.
Yeah, and then you don't have to just throw the product away. Sometimes if you have a lot of stock, it's a great way to just kind of get rid of it until you're doing your next print run.
That's right. That's right.
And I've seen products on the market recently and, within our stores that we shop at, that they look like an overlabel. It looks like a white sticker on top of a beautiful package, and it kind of just ruins the appeal of the brand, right? So how do you make sure that the label looks good on the shelf?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely all seen that before. It's obviously they're trying to get the same sort of cost effectiveness, but I don't think it's quite as appealing or professional as like a custom decal solution. Lining up, for example, graphics that are being covered underneath with what's over top, the color of the leaf here. Mm-hmm. So when the sticker is applied, doesn't look like, it still looks like the same brand identity.
That's right.
And I don't know. I guess a customer probably notices the professionalism. I like to think they do anyway. I do.
Yeah, so in a lot of cases, like for this brand, we have a robust overlabel solution. So the way the process starts is we typically share with them an intended label placement so that we ensure that we don't cover any lot numbers or expiry dates or anything that's not typical or might change. Once that becomes an approval based on like just we're sure we're not covering stuff that we shouldn't, or we have to make sure that we're covering stuff that we should, like non-compliant nutrition facts tables. We have to ensure that we cover non-compliant ingredient lists. And then once that's done, we develop like a special shape that will cover. So you probably can't tell by this label, or this container of woven wheat crackers, but it's a multi-panel cover that covers 3 different areas of this box. So here we have the Canadian compliant nutrition facts table that covers the US non-compliant one. It has a bilingual principal display panel here. And also the marketing and romance copy we've also translated as well to ensure that brand story still continues throughout. So yeah, during this process, it goes through many different kind of solution decision points to ensure that the end result looks really, really great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty proud of that process.
That's great. It seems to apply well to different product styles as well. Just showing, different product types. It doesn't have to just be a box, or it could be more of a bar shape. It does a great job of, again, not covering the important information that has to be there, that's ink jetted on, that you wouldn't want to mess with, covering the stuff that it does have to cover.
Yeah, in this particular one, so the material itself, if I may, the substrate is intended to adhere to multiple different types of substrates. So this is a bag of pasta. So the adhesive on this sticks very well on this, so that if you do try to remove it, it will basically destroy the product. Yeah. And even frozen products or like things that have moisture stuff on it, or produce, like the material that we use ensures that it doesn't start peeling off or get destroyed or fade or peel easily. Often on some lower cost or less sophisticated over-label solutions, you see that like it starts to like peel off, or it's crooked and it's so clearly a mask or band-aid, whereas these are like, even this one, this mismatched cookies, like it's a special shape that covers the entire thing, and it really looks like the brand. Like you wouldn't be able to tell at a glance that this is over-labeled.
Right, yeah. I've seen on shelves that you can physically remove the label.
Oh, for sure.
From one product. Put it on another if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like, I understand what they're trying to get at, but it just seems like such a cop-out in a way. I don't know if cop-out's the right word.
No, sure.
Yeah.
And also in other markets that you want to make sure that you're declaring things that are a safety or health and safety concern, like allergens, for example, or claims, where if you remove them, someone might miss a priority allergen that is declared or required to be declared in the market that you're in. So not only about visual aesthetic and branding, but it's also a health and safety concern as well.
Yeah. And I think over the years, obviously the ideal thing is to make fully Canadian or whatever country you're doing fully compliant, but this is kind of like still just as appealing and professional while still being cost effective, because we have such a robust sort of program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have definitely talked to some of our clients who they're interested in a new market. Let's say they do want to come to Canada, but for the investment that they're willing to put in, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And this is a really good approach, especially to have from the beginning, that we say there's multiple options. It doesn't have to just be dedicated packaging.
Right.
Yeah. Of course, dedicated packaging, great. There's no concern at all. You want to do it that way, you can put larger production runs in and get all those products on the shelf. Fantastic.
Right.
But alternatively, you might want to just try out the market for a little bit.
Sure.
There's even, within certain areas. So within Canada, I've heard people trying this out for maybe the Quebec market. Mm-hmm. Maybe their packaging is compliant in, let's say, Manitoba or Ontario, but doesn't meet the full bilingual requirements of Quebec.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And again, not knowing that market's going to be beneficial, they might not want to completely switch their entire packaging.
Yeah.
But they want to explore it. Another thing I've seen is for retail, like mock-ups. So again, getting into a new, maybe a product line, into a new retail store, you really want to put your best foot forward. I don't know, Marcel, if you have any other comments on that, but we've seen it, they're trying to get into a brand new retail chain and they're coming from Canada, maybe going to the US. Mm-hmm. You don't want to approach that chain with Canadian packaging.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's right.
Because, it's French all over. It's just not the same. It's showing that you've done some due diligence to go into that new market, that you could put together a package that looks compliant.
Yeah, definitely. Some major retailers, and not only in the US, but in Canada too, they require physical mock-ups at buyer meetings so that they can build physical planograms and ensure that the product is looking how it is intended to in their existing space. Mm-hmm. So they have, mock-up type of store floors and shelving, and then they recreate their proposed planograms in these, mock stores and then they can see what it really looks like. We do as well digital mock-ups and digital renderings and 3D renderings for pre-production products. However, often buyers want to say, okay, this is the product I want. Mm-hmm. I want to scan the barcode. I want to see how big it is physically and how heavy it is and everything like that, because those are all requirements that are needed when you're doing GS1 registration and planograms. And so the overlabel often is a part of that process.
Mm-hmm. Trade shows and things too. Sometimes we've
Great
had
example,
customers do need that as well, and holding it in your hand can just be so much more effective than seeing it on a screen sometimes. So it's really cost effective for something like that.
Yeah.
At trade shows too, like they often have innovation showcases where they'll have like new product areas, and basically they have products that have not been produced yet, and they want to show what it looks like. So they need physical mock-ups, and overlabels are often a case in that.
That's great. Yeah, it's about, putting your best foot forward.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Really, and we want our customers to do that too. So
yeah.
Fantastic. Maybe just talk a bit more about the complete solution, right? The production, inventory, logistics, the whole program that we could offer.
Yeah, I could speak to that. So the program, and once the label has been developed and it's completed, there's a whole other step in order for them to actually produce them and apply them to the products before they actually hit the shelves. So SNI has developed an online portal where brand owners can go and see the intent, like the final label, and also see the intended placement of the label on the packaging, so they have a quick reference of where it's supposed to go. When you have hundreds of SKUs, often you forget, where does the fusilli pasta label goes? Does it go here? And how does it avoid this window or whatever it is? So they can quickly reference those labels, and then they can place an order of the labels to us here at SNI. We go through a production process and distribution to the actual distribution center, where at the distribution center, often they'll tear down pallets of the product, open up cases, and physically apply the labels to the product, then repackage them up. But often we'll need 100 of these, 200 of these, 500 of these. And so that whole complex matrix of that ordering system, we've developed a system that allows us to quickly turn them around. Usually we have 5 to 7 business days of turnaround for labels. We produce tens of thousands of labels every month, and to multiple locations all across the country. And we have a system where when labels are updated or new ones, we ensure that previous legacy ones are no longer in circulation. Right. So we can't accidentally put the old dill pickle label on the new dill pickle label packaging. So and then that's basically it. We also have an inventory program for higher volume labels or higher volume SKUs. As everyone knows, there's efficiencies of scale when you have a higher volume of labels. The cost per unit goes down. But if you know that you need only X amount for this quarter, but based on movement reports or previous sales, you may want to order 6 or 12 months worth of labels at the same time, but you have nowhere to store them. We are able to house the labels in inventory, provide inventory reports to the brands as well, and the people can quickly say, I need another roll of 500 of these. We're having a special at this store, so can you get those to us? Rather than going through a whole production run, we can simply pull them off the shelf and send it to the distribution center to fulfill the orders of that weekly special.
That's great.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you'd like to add about this great solution today?
I think it's just really an underrated solution that a lot of people should be taking more advantage of. I understand that entering new markets can be expensive, but if you look at it from this perspective, it's like a good opportunity to see if there's something that you're missing out on.
Yeah. Keeping cost in mind and being super cost conscious, and small production runs, test markets, those are all areas that we can really talk about and most likely offer a really competitive solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always great to talk about these types of processes that can streamline the market entry for our clients, maybe save some headaches, save some costs.
Yeah.
So thank you to both of you for joining today. It's been great. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the SNI Podcast. To learn more about SNI and receive even more resources to help you reach your business goals, including information on regulatory compliance, clinical trials, and creative solutions for the natural health and food industries, follow us at Source-Nutraceutical Inc. on LinkedIn. You can also visit our website at sourcenutra.com. Thanks again, and see you next time.